self-pity and says, I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself.
Oh, yeah.
A small bird
who
will
wrote
fall
that
frozen
poem?
dead from a bough
DH.
without ever having felt sorry for itself. Right? So that's D.H. Lawrence. So the whole point is, man, I get to look at these wild things. I look at these dogs, right? I look at the big daddy goat that was out here
I
with his
saw him,
horns.
yeah.
Most of the mom goats right now are actually down in the pasture because the property goes all the way back up in the
Is there water down there? Or a
water.
creek or
There's
something?
water. There's a creek. There's a well. There's, as you go into the mountains, there's multiple waterfalls and there's a lot of water back
Beautiful.
in there. We're never hurting from
Oh, I
water.
see the goat. I see him.
Do you see some? Who do you got? Oh yeah, there's Dad.
He's like halfway down.
Yeah, there's Dad with his horns down there. So he fathers all the goats. We got 2 dairy moms. We got a handful of meat moms, and we just delivered like 10 babies. And so we'll breed them every year. But you watch all of them, man. They don't struggle the way we struggle because they're not trying to do. These guys work together, right? These 2 work together to guard all the animals. Nobody had to teach them how to do anything.
Dogs are always happier when they're working.
They're working.
Yes.
They work together. They don't try to pretend they're chickens. The goats don't try to pretend they're freaking bears.
Yeah.
They're just like, so that poem to me, man, talking about that bird falling frozen dead and not feeling sorry for itself because it spent every damn minute trying to be the best bird that it could just that day. That's it. It didn't try to be something else. It didn't try to impress the other birds. It just did bird stuff. It did what it was designed to do. We aren't doing as a species what we are designed to do, and that's why we have the mental health.
We are
problems,
not
right?
doing.
That's why we have all of these issues. If we get back to those factory settings,
because we are
with hard work being a part of that,
right? What did you say? Depression? You're
literally clinically depressing your dopamine levels.
Yeah.
You're depressing. You're actually, because dopamine, the way we normally get out here, hard day's work, right? You get done at the end of the day, dude, you're toast. You're done. Your head hits the pillow and you were out before it even fully got there, right? You're done. So you wake up the next day and you feel okay because what's happened is you've also allowed time for that dopamine level to refill and replenish. And now you can go again. You can start again. You can go. Our kids aren't doing that. We're depleting it in a non-natural fashion.
Yep.
And then they're having to go try to do something, go do schoolwork or go to a job or do whatever. And they're like, I feel like mental health is not something you have or you don't have. It's the byproduct of the life you're living.
I feel like, if I had quick change to a public school, we start our day with physical activity, regardless of the weather, outside. Okay, now I know some places like Minnesota, North Dakota, it might be -30. So I've not experienced that. But in New Jersey, you could go outside. You could go outside. You could hit a quarter mile. You could run stadium stairs, push-ups, pull-ups, throw medicine balls, do something with partners. Then you do some sort of work around the school. So I was thinking, you and I were talking about physical education in the early 80s. I don't know if any schools have auto body shop anymore. Some schools are trying to bring back wood shop, but everybody's got to learn something. So you go in and there's a bigger, instead of home economics or whatever the class is called, foods being a little classroom, it's a full-blown cafeteria where kids are making omelets and bacon, and somebody else has to maybe walk to the, I don't know, there's not a whole lot of farms in our area, but okay, there's no farm in our area. You want to get into business, I want you to contact local farms and see what kind of partnership we could build where they deliver milk and eggs and fruits and vegetables, and then you guys create a farmer market on the side of the school. Like, I just think it's produce, create, network.
You know why? The real world demands that you produce.
If you want to be successful.
That you network.
Right.
That's what.
Yes.
Those are the skills.
That's
that matter.
how we win.
So when people ask, what's your 30-second sales pitch for an Apogee campus?
Yes.
Right?
What would you say?
I just say, look, school has done a great job at making people good or not at school. An Apogee campus is about making sure they are good at life. Those are not the same games. That's it. what you just described is a microcosm of how the world actually works, of how you actually gain competency and go provide value and are able to move towards sovereignty because you have something to offer.
Yeah, or there's like, let's have some options here. So for somebody like my son, go and do, I don't know what class, math and something else, and 90 minutes later, you're out. Then you're going to run your lawn care business. Then you're going to do something, you're going to do something else. All right, but this guy, this other kid, this other girl, you know, he or she wants to be a scientist. Okay, cool. You're going to immerse yourself in science, but then let's go and intern somewhere.
Internships, apprenticeships.
Let's get out of the building.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, so we take a look at everything from a developmental standpoint. So up through about, and schools do not do this at all, so parents really struggle with this. But up through like 8-ish years old, the majority of their day should be play. Some physical education and play.
Yeah.
We hammer in this country, academics at 5, 6. You got to get them ready. You got to get, and then we wonder what's going on. Well, nobody likes to read anymore. Nobody likes to. We're killing that developmentally. They need to play more than anything else. Then 8 to 12, they got kind of like, okay, we can start to see like skill acquisition a little bit and take on some responsibility and start solving some things and start getting a little bit into the academia. I promise you, you build it that way, 12 to 14, 15, they can crush every bit of academia they would ever get in any school across the country. Promise, they could do it in all three of those years. Guaranteed, take out the entire thing. I've seen it over and over. And then those last few years, 15, 16, 17, and again, all of this time, they're exercising, they're taking on responsibility on campus, but they're building businesses, they're doing all these things too. But then 15, 16, 17, 18, yes, they're helping run the campus itself. I've had high school chefs who worked with Weston A. Price organization to learn how to do school lunch programs come back, and they are the head chef on campus.
By the way, man, school lunch is some sort of like, it's like connected to the government. Well, the government runs a school, but school lunch has kind of like, they're like connected to some like old school called like healthy food, healthy snack. And so, yes, so I tried getting something called the Power Locker in our school, but because the Power Locker doesn't fall under the New Jersey healthy snack law, and the guy told me, listen, in a vending machine in a school, you're allowed to have Pepsi and whatever, this and that, but because not because of what it is, because it's like it's 14 ounces, just stuff that is not the best thing for the kids.
Freaking garbage, man. It's
right.
Garbage.
So
trying to get real food, and it's like, no, we got to stick with this prison issue. I mean, that's essentially what it is.
It's shit.
It's a bunch of garbage.
So
like having them learn to do that and bring that, and then again, 15, 16, 17, 18, dude, get out apprenticeships, internships, like get out there and freaking
change is hard though. You know, my daughter's on the tail end of high school. My son's midway through. And so that becomes, you know, speaking, I'll play devil's advocate as a dad. You're like, oh man, we'll pull him out. And right now, Apogee has a lot of the younger, because it's a new program, right? So then you're like, what will the colleges think? He's not in school anymore. And, you know, you start second guessing the culture that you've grown up in. Yes.
And that's why I talk about school as being a religion. It's the biggest religion here, because you can take somebody, if we go, hey man, Zach, let me show you from a logical perspective, man, you've actually been in a cult for 40 years. And I can get you there. I can get you there intellectually. You're like, oh my gosh, man, 40 years I've been in a cult. And then I bring you out here to the farm and we start doing all these things and we start talking about a new way of life and start looking at things differently. You still want to go back and do cult stuff because that's familiar to you, right? We confuse as a species. We confuse what's familiar with what's true.
Yes, and change is scary.
It's unfamiliar. So there's no way it can be right. But growth demands it.
I will be interested to see, Matt. You and I have had these conversations, but it's the first time we're recording this in depth. You know, I'm seeing a lot of young, you know, if you ask a class of 500 seniors who is going to major in education, I think you might find somewhere around 10 kids. So the numbers are dropping, and the numbers of teachers leaving teaching is rising significantly. So I'm wondering if I'm not sure what will happen
Yeah.
to public education, but I tell my kids, I go, I will homeschool your kids, or they will be in Apogee and I'll be the one organizing where they go.
100%.
But basically, my grandkids will very likely not be in a public school.
Yeah, and that's, you know, again, God bless all of the amazing humans who are still working in that system, because there are so many good ones.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't vilify parents who
They
have their
love the
kids
kids,
there.
and they're trying
They very
to
much
create
do. Very much
they're
do.
trying to create change.
100%. But I talk to them all day long. I talk to them 7 days a week.
Their hearts are broken.
Their hearts are broken, and they would not recommend it to other people going in. There's so many of them that are like, oh man, I'm gonna still show up because I love the kids and I'm working towards this retirement, but man, my heart's broken on what this is. Right? I don't want that for anybody, man. And that's not going anywhere good. So that's, I know things aren't going to change from the inside. So that's why, like, what we're building is not a panacea. Right? There's no such thing as perfection.
No doubt.
But we're going to do the best of our ability. We're going to continuously adjust as we need to on the fly. We're going to keep adapting. And ultimately, we want to make everything so dang accessible to everybody that everybody else has to at least take notice. And they got to go, okay, well, there's something else over here that is working.
Well, I think
so maybe we got to start thinking.
Right now, with you guys moving into at least one Apogee in every state, is very powerful.
Yeah, it's a start, man.
So we're, you know, people could Google Apogee School, but there's also the program for men. I didn't know you had the program for women as well.
Men, we got the men, we got the women. So all these are designed to be able to stand alone too. So if you don't have a campus or you don't have it and you want to just jump in, we got the men's, we got the women's, we got the young men. And then we're building out the young ladies. And then we have the home education crew, about 300 families that we bring through home education as well. So we really are interested in educating the entire family, whether you're a part of a campus or you're, you know, kind of on a silo at some point. All of those come together at our campuses, but they're designed to stand alone too. And then we'll get our live events going this year, man, every state.
Love it. All right, we're going to shut it down here. All right, Matt, you're the best. Had a great time with you.
Awesome, man. So glad we got to do this, man.
And it's just beautiful here. Beautiful, my friend. All right, everybody. Thank you.